All right, we've got Rob Blake here, so please use the raise hand function and we will begin. We'll start off with Zach Dooley.
Hey, Rob, as the picks came off the board, were you happy with how things shook out, especially as you got to 6 and 7 and saw who you might have your choice of?
Yeah, I think we were in a position we were looking whether we would try to maybe get up a spot or two, but as it unfolded, we were set to pick where we were at, and very excited about getting to what we needed to do.
What was it about Brant that made him stand out to you and the staff, and what qualities of his is the organization most impressed with?
Well, I think as far as the defenseman with the offensive ability, and that's a deception, the poise with the puck, the subtle plays he makes to bring a defender to him and either get a forward in stride or else get the puck through the net a certain way. So something we've definitely needed, and glad to have added that.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rob.
Next up is Dennis Bernstein.
Rob, how impactful making this decision was the fact that Clark went over and played in Slovakia against pros?
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously got a little further video, but also playing against older players and men in that division and everything. Like everyone's talking about in this draft, everybody kind of played in different spots. Whether they stayed over in North America, that probably didn't get nearly the amount of games they would have in a normal season, or else, players from the Ontario League having to go different spots to play. So unusual circumstance there, but you got to see him against men.
You mentioned about moving up. How many calls, if any, did you receive without going to numbers on your pick, trading out of the 8?
Nothing really in interest in that aspect. We were looking more where, how the draft was unfolding, if there was any movement needed on our part.
One final one. You have 49, 72, and 89. I'm going to assume you're done tonight. Is there a possibility that you might do like you did with Brock Faber's pick last year and combine some things to move up?
There's always that possibility. I know Mark, is kind of under when we went over draft strategy, being aggressive and getting the players they have targeted in this draft. The means, the necessary means to be able to go do it are within his grasp. Yes.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Next up is John Hoven.
Rob, since we have you, just to take a quick step backwards to the expansion draft from the other day, just any thoughts on losing McDermott and how that, sort of impacts what you do moving forward?
I don't know about impact moving forward. Just first and foremost, probably one of our, for sure, the development guys, one of their favorite players. And the fact that he bought into everything they wanted to teach him right from day one. And true character, be very, very missed within the dressing room confines. I think the players and rightly so had so much respect for him, for the job he did and the way he took care of his team.
And then obviously a lot of activity around the league today with trades and whatnot. How tight has the market been for what you're specifically trying to accomplish?
Well, at different times. I mean, you field calls and you put feelers out there and you see what can be available. We're trying to get in as many possible conversations, but we also know we have certain means we want to stay within and strengths and make sure we're trying to, obviously make the team better in anything we're doing.
And can you give us any update on where things stand with Trevor Moore and getting a deal done?
We would like to. Obviously, it was one of our focus. We went ahead, protected him in the expansion, understanding where we're at. But we feel he's an important part in our lineup, but also in the leadership and in the type of culture. You can see him adapt and very much become a prominent figure in that aspect for us as the year went on last year.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Next up is Lisa Dillman.
Yeah, Rob, with Clark, was there a game or a series of games that kind of told you, hey, this is our guy if he is there at our pick? Or was it something maybe in the interview process also?
Well, I think all that combined. Obviously, Mark and his staff go into great detail in, more. I would say a more emphasis put on video this year due to the restrictions and due to live viewings. but he's been adding that to his staff over the years, but I would say in greater detail. So, they were very high on Brant right from day one where we were discussing and the possibilities that he may be available for us. So it worked out that way.
And in terms of development camp, what is the schedule for that? And how's that going to unfold?
Yeah, we have a certain range between, I think it's first week of August until rookie camp, where you inform the league to do a 5-day development camp or, conditioning camp, the way they've named it this year. So they're in the process of looking at that. Some of the European players will be playing then. College players should be back in college, depending on the timing of all that. So it's a fluid situation still to get a full understanding when we're going to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up is Lee Hamilton.
Hey, Rob, from San Diego. With what's being negotiated with the young players and the fact that he played 26 games abroad, is he eligible to be an American Hockey League player out of the gate, or does he have to go back to Barrie?
I think he has to go back to Barrie, Lee. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to check on that for sure. I know there's some speculation of underage CHL players and if they had played a certain amount of games in the American League, what was the requirement next year for them? But I don't know from a player going over to Europe. But my take right now would be that that's where it would have to be.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions for Rob? Last one here from Zach Dooley.
Rob, I just had one more for I don't believe we've talked with you since adding Victor Arvidsson a few weeks back. I just wanted to see your thoughts on what he brings to the lineup and if there's any thoughts on maybe adding more in that department.
Well, we would like to, and we're going to explore all the options as we did probably from the start at the time we could. We zeroed in on Victor early in that sequence and talking with Nashville and understanding that the type of deal that was in front of us, we thought it was important to be able to add that type of player, obviously with the work and the speed, but the scoring ability also, and the ability to play in the top 6 on our team.
Appreciate it. Thank you.